Okay, so good evening to all. Welcome once again. So in the first topic, we discuss about the basic introduction of industrial microbiology and how we can do the process of fermentation. Okay, we discuss about various techniques of fermentation in that. So right now, uh, we will discuss about the instrument of fermenter. Okay, how? Because without an instrument, we cannot perform the whole process. So we should know the basic idea of the fermenter. So what is fermenter? It is basically a device in which the substrate of low value means very cheap material, very cheap raw material. It is used, it is utilized, which are reacted by living organisms, mainly microbes only. So fermenter is basically a device in which substrate of low value is utilized by living cells or certain enzymes to generate the product of higher value. It means from the raw material, we can convert the raw material into the desired product with the help of fermenter by using certain enzymes and certain living cells. And living cells basically we use only microbes, mainly bacteria or fungi mainly. So it is a containment system. Fermenter is designed in such a way that it gives proper right atmosphere or right environment for optimum growth and metabolic activity of organism. In that fermenter, what will happen? The microbe, it will work only when it has optimal growth and it has proper metabolic activity, so that that microbe may react upon the substrate of low value, and after acting or after reacting on the substrate of that low value, it can convert to generate the product of higher value. So this is the main work of fermenter. Now, first of all, we discuss about the basic function of fermenter. What is the need of designing the fermenter? It provide a controlled environment for optimal product yield. The fermenter provide the controlled environment for optimum product yield. Okay, power consumption should be minimum, right? Power consumption should be minimum. So when we are using fermenter, we should provide all basic balanced controlled environment. Minimum electricity is there. Facility for sampling should be provided. How we can induce the sample. Evaporation losses should be as low as possible, because if the water content is removed, then the fermenter cannot able to work without the water content. So leakage should be avoided so that there is no evaporation of water. The internal surface should be very smooth. It should not be rough. And whatever, when designing the fermenter, every joint should be welded so that it can reduce the chance of toxic effects. It could not be hazardous. Otherwise, when you are using this instrument, it creates a risk. It provides adequate mixing and proper aeration for optimum growth of microbes. So what will happen? When the microbes get proper nutrition, they will produce certain metabolites, and that metabolites will help to convert the low substrate into the higher productive substrate. So what are the main, I will repeat once again, what are the main basic function of fermenter? To provide the controlled environment, to convert into the good yield product, least use of electricity, sampling facility should be proper, no loss of water, internal surface should be polished, and it should be smooth, and no joint should remain open, they should be welded wherever possible. They should provide adequate mixing and aeration for optimum growth and production of metabolites. Okay, they should provide adequate mixing and aeration for optimum growth and production of metabolites. Okay, so these are the main basic function of fermenter. Basically, there are two types of fermenter. We can see from the diagram. It is a glass vessel with rounded flat bottom. Glass vessel which is rounded flat bottom, and the top it is covered by the carrying plate. The top is covered by the carrying plate, so it is totally autoclave. Second type, glass cylinder. It is having stainless steel top and bottom. It contains two plates. Both have stainless steel, and they are basically covered from top and bottom with stainless steel. So these are two basic types of fermenter. In one fermenter, it is having glass vessel which is rounded or flat at the bottom, and top is covered by the carrying plate. Then it contains a gas cylinder which contains stainless steel, and upside it is having top and bottom plates. Okay. Then what are the basic components of fermenter? What are the basic body structure of fermenter? Now we'll discuss each particle and each part of the fermenter in detail. First of all, we discuss about body. The main body of fermenter, they are made up of glass and stainless steel. The main body of fermenter, they are made up of glass and stainless steel. Why glass is preferred? Because it provides smooth surface. It provides smooth surface to carry out all the reaction mixtures here. Proper mixing of all the components. Glass is also non-toxic. It do not have any kind of corrosion, and it is easy to examine inside the vessel because it is transparent. So we can see what is going to happen inside the vessel. So glass is useful because it gives smooth surface, non-toxic, it is free from corrosion, and easy to examine the inside of the vessel. At large industrial scale, normally vessels are also constructed with the stainless steel, and sometimes with chromium, nickel will also be used. Okay, sometimes they can be used with stainless steel, or sometimes chromium or nickel may also be used. But glass is preferred because it is corrosion free, it is non-toxic, it provides very polished smooth surface, and we can easily see what kind of reaction is going inside the fermenter. We can easily observe that. Okay, so this is the general body structure of fermenter. Then we discuss body part we have discussed. Then we reach to second component, that is seal part. This seal part, it separates top plate from glass vessel. Sealing is what? To pack something, to cap something so that there is no chance of leakage. Okay, so the seal is used to separate top plates from glass vessel. Basically, three types of seal are used, as we can see in the picture: gasket seal, lip seal, and O-ring seal. With glass and metal, the seal can be made with the compressible gasket, and lip seal is used. With metal to metal joints, only O type of seal is suitable. So I will repeat once again. So this is the glass, this is the metal, and this point is sealing. It is done by gasket seal when we are sealing glass and metal. Okay. Also, we can also use the second L shape. It is called as lip seal for capping off to provide leakage between the glass and the metal. But when we are joining metal to a more metal, then we can use O type ring seal is there. So basically, the main function of seal is to prevent any leakage of air or to prevent any aeration, so that there could be the proper level of carbon dioxide inside the fermenter, because the maintenance of gas is very important part. So three types of seals are used: gasket seal, lip seal, o-ring seal. Okay, and it prevents the leakage of air. And when we join metal to metal, O-shaped seal are used. Then third component is agitator. It is also called as impeller. See, in the earlier times, we have seen the ladies to separate charge from makhan. What they used, they do such kind of throwing an instrument in between their hands like this. Okay, so that is called as agitation. Recently, we use mixies, but in earlier times, when they separate charge or lassi from dahi, so they use such kind of instrument. So see, it contains several blades are there. It is rotated. So what is the use of agitator? To achieve a proper adequate mixing of all the components in the fermenter. The main function is to provide basic amount of mixing in the compressor. So first is bulk fluid and gas phase mixing. First is bulk fluid and gas phase mixing. Then there should be the dispersion of air. Then there should be air dispersion. Okay, so there should be dispersion of air. Next role is transfer in the oxygen, heat transfer, and suspension of solid particles. Last point, I have written one line, but I have also rubbed one line, because this point is a little bit controversy, that it provides maintaining the uniform environment throughout the vessel. Actually, this role is still not clear whether it is achieved by the general body or done by agitator. So main role is proper mixing of fluid and gas, proper dispersion of air, proper oxygen transfer, CO2 transfer to provide adequate heat, and proper suspension of solid particles. Okay, so this is the main functions of, or we can say main functions of agitator. So we have discussed about three parts: general body structure, which is made up of glass and stainless steel. Second part, sealing, to provide the leakage of air. Third part is agitator, that is called as impeller, which is required to achieve a lot of mixing. Then we discuss about fourth component, that is baffles. So first we discuss about what is baffles. Generally in normal fermenter, four baffles are incorporated. They are put inside the agitated vessels of all size. Basically the main role is generally to improve the aeration efficiency. See, this is the fermenter. On this side baffle is there. On this side baffle is there. Two and two, total four baffles are there, which are placed on the side of the agitated vessel, and their main role is to improve the aeration efficiency. Baffles are actually made up of metal strips, normally 1/10 of the vessel diameter, means total diameter, their diameter is 1/10, and attached radially to fermenter wall. This is the wall of fermenter, and they are attached radially. Okay, so four baffles are normally incorporated into agitated vessels of all size to prevent vortex and to improve aeration efficiency. The baffles are metal strip, roughly 1/10 of the vessel diameter, and attached radially to fermenter wall. So these total there are four battles are provided, and they are attached radially to the fermenter wall. Then they contain certain probes. Probes are basically, in normal language we know that probes are basically radioactive material, but here there is no use of these probes. They are generally simple assessing structure. Then in the middle of the fermenter there is impeller, that is we call as agitator, that is kept here. It is air sparger. Then from this side, this impeller rotate, and thus it causes the mixing of all the raw materials in the fermenter. And this point there is the passage of air and the exchange of air. So this is the proper role of baffles. Now, bottom of the side, spargers are present. Three types of spargers are there: orifice sparger, porous sparger, and nozzle sparger. Basically, three types of sparger are there: orifice sparger, porous sparger, nozzle sparger. So sparger is this device which is introduced in the fermenter. We can see here clearly the air sparger. Okay. So sparger is a device which is introduced into the fermenter. So three types of spargers are there: orifice sparger, porous sparger, and nozzle sparger. Okay. Then we discuss about what are the various types of fermenter. What are the various types of fermenter? So basically, normally in the field of industrial microbiology, we go through only mainly four types of fermenter. That is stirred tank bioreactor. Bioreactor and fermenter both are same thing. Bioreactor and fermenter both are same thing. So four types of fermenter are there: stirred tank bioreactor, airlift bioreactor, packed bed bioreactor, and fluidized bed bioreactor. Stirred tank bioreactor, airlift bioreactor, packed bed bioreactor, and fluidized bed reactor. We will discuss each type of fermenter in detail. So both bioreactor and fermentum are almost same. There is not so much difference. Generally, there is a minor difference regarding the body structure. Some may be stainless steel, some may have chromium, some may have glass, but minor difference is there. Otherwise, both are the same thing. So we don't get confused. Either we can write fermenter or we can write bioreactor. Okay. Then after that, first of all, we discuss about stirred tank reactor. Okay. First of all, so CSTR is continuous stirred tank reactor. It consists of cylindrical vessel with motor driven shaft that supports one or more agitation. See, this is the motor driver. This is cooling jackets, yellow colored. Both sides are baffles to improve the aeration, and this is the agitator. At the bottom of the stirrer, there is an agitator which is used, which will rotate, and it will mix all the components inside the tank reactor. It is controlled by the motor. So high input is required. Baffles are already made; they are built in that. The application include production of antibiotics. The main role of continuous stirred tank reactor is production of antibiotics and free immobilized enzymes. Okay, and free immobilized enzymes. One drawback is that high shear force may break the cells. When we are agitating, when we are mixing the cells, if the speed of agitator is very fast, if the speed of agitator is very fast, what will happen? They may break the cells. Okay, what I have written, they may break the cells. So we have to take care in that. So first we discuss about continuous stirred tank reactor. Then we discuss about airlift reactors. So this airlift reactors, in airlift reactor, medium of the vessel is divided into two interconnected zones. In airlift reactor, medium of the vessel is divided into two interconnected zones. So riser, see, it contains both sides riser. They are having down corner. They are having vent air. They are having three-phase settler. They are having what? Three-phase settler. Vent air, riser, down corner. So what is the importance of riser? Broth rises. Okay, broth rises through this tube. Okay, in airlift reactor, medium of the vessel is divided into two interconnected zones. So, riser, broth rises through the tubes. So, what will happen? They will increase the size of broth. Down corner, from this side, the broth will rise. From the down corner, the broth will come down. So, broth flow down through this down corner. So, what will happen? There is a complete homogenization of all the components present. Homogenization of all the components to present. So, what will happen? This homogenization components present they includes bacterial, animal, plant, fungi, and yeast. And cell cultures can be grown in these reactors. So, bacterial cell, plant cell, animal cell, fungi cell, yeast cell, all kind of cell can be grown in such types of reactors. Okay, so these are airlift reactors. Means just one side air is going upside, one side air is going downside. So it makes a proper homogenization of all the cells. So the second type is called as airlift reactor. Then we discuss about packed bed reactor, third type. Third type is packed bed reactor. It contains the bed of solid particles. They contain some biocatalyst. These biocatalysts are present within the matrix of solids. So this kind of reactor is totally packed with the solid matrix. So in the packet there is a column. They constitute packed. This is a packed bed. This is feed. This is gun out. This is operation cycle. So bed of solid particles with biocatalyst or within the matrix of solids packed in column constitutes a packed bed reactor. The packed bed reactor are used for aerobic treatment of wastes. These are basically all waste are packed in this volume. So it is fixed from inside. It is the operation button. Okay, so all raw material is packed inside and proper aerobic treatment of waste material is done. So they are controlled by a certain pump. When you press the pump, the waste material again treated with the oxygen or with any other gas. Mainly oxygen is there. So the pump is required to make fluid move through the packed bed. Basically, this packed bed reactor is used in the application of wastewater treatment. Okay, basically the packed bed reactor is used to use in the wastewater treatment. Here, what they will control? They will control the level of EC, biological oxygen demand, chemical oxygen demand, turbidity, and electrical conductivity. All these things are basically conducted in the packed bed reactor. So through proper aeration, they balance the BOD or COD level. The third type is packed bed reactor. Then we discuss about fluidized, fluidized bed reactor. As the name suggests, fluid. So mainly it contains liquid. Sometimes gas is also passed. So in this reactor, fluid, gas or solid liquid is passed through the solid granular material at high velocity to suspend the solid. This is the solid. From this side, liquid or gases is passed to a granular material with very high velocity. Okay, these are the controlling material. These are the passing of gases. When the packed beds are operated in upflow mode, when they are made in the upflow mode, the bed expands at high liquid flow rates because particles move downside and there is expansion in the bed at high liquid. So the increase in the flow rate of liquid and energy is required. Some energy is required with the help of certain pump, pressure or gas. So again they are used in waste water treatment. Okay, so again they are used in wastewater treatment. Fourth type is fluidized bed reactor. Okay. Now basically there are two. We discuss about different types of fermenter. Now what is the process is fermentation. Basically fermentation is of two types. One, surface type. It includes solid state. Here microbes are cultivated on the surface of a liquid or the solid medium. Okay, here in the surface fermentation microbes are cultivated basically on the surface of liquid or the solid substrate like mushroom, cocoa. In the submerged fermentation, microbes are grown only in the liquid medium. Submerged means totally dipped inside the liquid solution. Okay, and surface means on the top of the surface. So, microorganisms grow in the liquid medium in the submerged state. That is example, protein, antibiotics, enzymes. They are carried out by the submersion process. So, example is protein, antibiotics, and enzymes are carried out by the submersion process. So, the name is surface and it calls submerged fermentation. Okay. Then we discuss about the main economic behavior of fermentation economics. Means we will discuss about the cost benefit ratio of fermentation. Right? As you know that fermentation is very expensive process. In fact, it is this expense that has so far prevented the use of biotechnology very far beyond the pharmaceutical field into commodity and especially chemicals. No doubt we can produce all these things with the help of biotechnology, but using fermentation, no doubt they have created some spirit of biotechnology. No doubt they have to follow some process of biotechnology, but in some cases they have limited the control. So, in any process, it is important to understand the cost breakdown. Means what is the cost of instrument, what is the cost of chemical, what is the cost of raw material, what is the cost of electricity used. So to determine, we have to determine where we can save the maximum amount of money. General cost considerations can be as follows: like what is the cost of equipment, how we can maintain of asepsis, means proper aeration, proper control of aseptic condition, how much raw material we are putting and how much product we are getting, overall volumetric productivity we are getting, utilizing raw materials and media. Okay, utilizing raw materials and media and other factors including temperature, dissolved oxygen tension, foaming, instrument purchase and installation. Okay, instrument purchase and installation, and microprocessor control of feedback loops, and microprocessor control of feedback loops. So these are the main important cost benefit ratio which should take into the consideration before going for the fermentation industry. Mostly their application is mainly in the current scenario. Their main application is in the pharmaceutical and the dairy industry. They are based on large amount of fermenters to produce large amount of dairy products and fermentation products, antibiotics also. Okay, then we discuss about the raw materials and the media which we are using. The cost of various components of the production medium can be around 40 to 70% of the total production cost. Means all cost of raw material and chemical media which we are using, it is around 40 to 70% cost of the cost. So raw material media is very important. What amount, what quality, what quantity we have to purchase, we have to take into very care. Generally, the organic carbon source is the most expensive of all the components. It is difficult to get organic carbon. So it is the organic carbon is the most valuable source, and it is difficult to bear its cost. So it is important to include the amount of substrate carbohydrates in the cost benefit analysis, so that whenever there is a hydrolysis of carbohydrates, they can produce large amount of CO2. If we change the substrate of carbohydrates to carbon source, it gives increased quantity of organic carbon. So it is better recommended to use maximum the source of carbohydrates. Okay, so maximum it is preferred to use the source of carbohydrates. But this change may also require more agitation or aeration. But this change may also require more agitation or aeration with correspondingly higher cost for energy. So it will not the appropriate steps, because it can affect the cost benefit ratio. So proper agitator, proper instrument, we should know the exact cost in the market, and then we can focus on the raw materials and the media. These are the one of the most prominent part to start for the fermentation industry. That is raw materials and the media. In this we will discuss about example of, suppose we want to go for the production of alcohol. I told you that in current scenario, alcohol is the most rising industry which is contributing maximum in the GDP of our country. Okay, alcohol is providing maximum GDP of our country. No doubt, drinking alcohol is toxic for our health, but still, scientifically, 8 ml alcohol is a boon for human beings. But excess of everything is bad. Okay, the next topic is alcoholic fermentation. We also call this ethanol. So it is a biological process in which we use sugars like glucose, fructose, and sucrose. We use three types of sugars, that is glucose, fructose, and sucrose, and they are converted into the cellular energy form. So what will happen during the process of fermentation in the absence of oxygen? So this sugar substrate, that is glucose, fructose, and sucrose, they will produce what? Alcohol and CO2, means C6H12O6. When they are reproduced in the absence of oxygen, they will produce CO2 plus C2H5OH. So what they are producing? Ethanol and carbon dioxide as metabolic waste products. In this reaction, we have to eat fungi, that is yeast, which increase this production, because yeast perform this conversion in the absence of oxygen. So we can say that whole reaction is anaerobic. What we can say? We can say that whole reaction is anaerobic. So in the alcohol fermentation, what we are using? We are using glucose, fructose, and sucrose. After that, we are using all the reaction in the absence of oxygen. So these sugar molecules will convert into ethanol and CO2. And we will use yeast as a fungi because yeast is the main important substrate which is used in the fermentation reaction. And since we are not using any oxygen, it is called as anaerobic reaction. Aerobic is done in the presence of oxygen. Anaerobic is done in the absence of oxygen. Then we will focus on this figure. See, this is the glucose. Here is the reaction of ADP and ATP. NADH converts to NADH. ADP is converted to ATP with the transfer of electrons. One phosphate group is transferred. First, they will form 2-pyruvate. From the 2-pyruvate, CO2 is released. They will form 2 molecules of acetaldehyde. And these 2 molecules of acetaldehyde, they are reduced to 2 molecules of ethanol. Okay, so from glucose, ultimately your product is 2 ethanol and 2-pyruvate and 2 aldehydes. They are the intermediate products. Okay, they are what? They are intermediate products. So here, what changes are doing? NAD is converted to NADH, and NADH is again converted into NAD. So this is the overall reaction. C6H12O6. It will form two molecules of ethanol and two molecules of carbon dioxide. Some energy is stored. ATP is released. So it means this sugar molecule is converted into alcohol. The sugar molecule is converted into alcohol. This alcohol release one gas, that is carbon dioxide gas, with the release of some energy. Okay, so this is the overall biochemical reaction which takes place during the process of anaerobic fermentation. So from glucose, we produce two molecules of ethanol using two pyruvate and two molecules of aldehyde as the intermediate molecules. The exchange of CO2 gases, reduction of NAD to NADH, ADP is converted to ATP. Now we are using many other bacteria, fungi also for the reaction of this fermentation technology. We are using many microbes. We are using many microbes like Zymomonas mobilis, Clostridium acetobutylum, Klebsiella pneumoniae. No doubt this Klebsiella pneumoniae is very dangerous microbe. It can cause pneumonia, but it is having some uses also. It helps in the process of fermentation very efficiently. And finally, we are using different species of yeast. Finally, we are using different species of yeast. That is Saccharomyces cerevisiae, Saccharomyces carlsbergensis, Saccharomyces saki, Saccharomyces oviformis, Candida utilis, and Mucor species. These are the different variety of yeast which we are using. So in bacteria, what we are using? Zymomonas mobilis, Clostridium acetobutylum, Klebsiella pneumoniae. In the yeast, what we are using? Saccharomyces cerevisiae, Saccharomyces carlsbergensis, Saccharomyces saki, Saccharomyces oviformis, Candida utilis, Mucor species. Okay, so these are the bacteria species and these are the yeast species which we are using. Then finally, what another raw materials we are using for carry out fermentation? So we are using molasses, we are using sugarcane, we are using sugar beet, sweet potato. All these are good source of sugar. Sulfide waste, wheat sorghum is good source of protein. Wheat sorghum, glucose, sucrose, and lactose. Okay, glucose, sucrose, and lactose. So these are the sugar material which we are using. So I will revise once again today. We discuss about the basic definition of fermentation. What is the instrument are used? Then we discuss about basic function of fermentation, that they provide control environment, least power consumption, facility for sampling should be provided, loss of evaporation, smooth surface, adequate mixing, optimal growth of microbes is required for proper production of metabolites. Then we discuss about types of fermenter, glass vessel, both sides bottom plate is there, glass cylinder with stainless steel is there. Okay, two types of fermenter we discuss. We discuss then different components of fermenter. Body is made up of glass. It is non-toxic, non-corrosive, smooth surface provide. We can easily see inside the vessel what reaction is going to happen. But in some industries, they use stainless steel, they use chromium, nickel also be used because they are good conductor of heat and electricity. Then we use seal to provide the aeration, to prevent any leakage. Three types of seals are there. When glass and metal are sealed, we use gasket seal and lip seal. When metal and metal are sealed, we use O-ring seal. The second component was sealing. We discuss about then agitator which is used to mix proper mixing of all the components, proper mixing, proper dispersion, proper oxygen transfer, proper heat transfer, proper suspension of solid particles. maintaining uniform environment. Then fourth component was baffles. Baffles are normally incorporated on the radial side of agitator. Their main role is to increase the aeration efficiency. Normally, four baffles are kept on the agitator. They are form of metal strips, so they are placed like the strips in the agitator, just at the radial size. They contain some probes are there, spargers are there, impellers are there. Impellers, we told you to rotate so that they can do the proper mixing. Spargers are of three types: orifice sparger, porous sparger, and nozzle sparger. It is used only for the just passage of air. Then we'll discuss about four types of fermenter: acid tank, bioreactor. We can say both bioreactor and fermenter, airlift, packed bed, fluidized. Then we discuss about CSTR, continuous stirrer tank reactor. It contains motor, contains shaft. Okay, mixed product is there, proper agitator is there. High input require. Baffles are put on the radial size, mainly used in the production of antibiotics and immobilize enzymes. Excessive high agitation can break the cells. This is the drawback of CSTR. Excessive high agitation can break the cells. It is the drawback of this CSTR. Then we discuss about airlift reactor. One side downward movement, one side upper movement and down movement of broth. It will cause the proper homogenization of the mixtures. Normally, all living cells, that is bacterial, animal, plant, fungi, yeast, all cells are homogenized in airlift reactors. Then we discuss about packed bed reactor. All things are packed. Gas is there, space is there. It is made up of solid particles, which are acting as a biocatalyst. It contains of solid matrix so that there is no leakage of air. They are used basically in the aeration purpose, mainly applied in the field of wastewater treatment to control BOD, COD, conductivity, pH. Mainly secondary water treatment, activated sludge treatment. Then we discuss about fluidized bed reactor. Mainly liquid is passed here to the solid granules. The bed is expanded inside the reactor at high flow rate, so the flow rate of liquid will increase. It is also used in the wastewater treatment. It also requires high energy. Then, on the basis of formation, two types of fermentation is there. Surface fermentation we discussed. It is mainly done on solid surface. Example: mushroom and cocoa. Submerged fermentation. Submerged means totally dipped. Their microbes are dipped in liquid medium, mainly used in the production of protein, antibiotics, enzymes. Okay. Then we discuss about economics of fermentation. What economic things we have to take follow? We should know the exact cost of equipment, maintenance of aseptic condition is required, proper aeration, proper conversion efficiency, how much raw material we are using, how much productivity we are getting, what electricity is getting, what are the utilities, raw materials, media, other factors like how much temperature we have to maintain, what cost is involved in the maintenance of temperature, how much is the ratio of dissolved oxygen, what is the oxygen tension, what is the foaming, what are the instrument purchase and installation, and what are the microprocessor control of the feedback loops. So these are the process of means cost benefit analysis is very important to start any kind of business. And I told you that fermentation has no doubt some bypass the role of biotechnology, though they are using, but they are themselves capable of producing large amount of antibiotics and dairy products. Also applicable in the both. Mainly the role is into industry, dairy and pharmaceutical. Then we discuss about that raw material and media the most important source in the cost benefit analysis, about 40 to 70%. Main cost is of organic carbon, so we have to use carbohydrates as a substrate so that hydrolysis of carbohydrates can produce organic carbon. For that we require good energy, so we should maintain such kind of conditions that we can use the substrates mainly prepared from sugar. Okay. Then we discuss about production of alcohol. I told you that production of alcohol is the largest contributing factor in the GDP of our country. So they will produce alcohol that is called as ethanol. They are using three sugar molecules like glucose, fructose, and sucrose as the substrate. In the absence of oxygen, they will carry out the reaction. So finally, when these three sugar molecules will go under the chemical reaction with the help of intermediate compounds, they will form ethanol and carbon dioxide. This reaction is helped by the fungi called as yeast. Since this reaction is in the absence of oxygen, we call it as anaerobic. Then we discuss about the basic chemical reaction. Glucose molecules are there, exchange of ATP to ATP is there, formation of two pyruvate molecules, liberation of CO2 molecules, they will form 2-acetaldehyde, NADH is converted to NAD, they will form two molecules of ethanol, they increase the expenditure of energy, energy is stored in the form of energy, and finally they will form alcohol and CO2. Then we discuss about what microbes we can use in this industry. We can use bacteria like Zymomonas, Clostridium, Klebsiella. We can use different species of yeast like Saccharomycetes carlsbergensis, Saccharomycetes sacchi, S. oviformis, Candida utilis, mucor species we can use. Then what sugar materials we are using? Molasses, sugarcane, sugar beet, sweet potato, sulfide, waste sorghum, good source of protein, glucose, sucrose, and lactose. So this was the overall topic of about different kinds of fermentation. So I hope you could better understand this topic. Thank you.